This content is for educational and informational purposes only and is not medical advice, a diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult your physician or qualified healthcare provider for a personal medical decision.
Welcome to Let's Talk Holistic Hope. I'm your host, Rochelle Wilson, a naturopath and wellness expert. And on this show, we get to the root of chronic illness and nagging symptoms with an enlightening mix of functional medicine, biblical wisdom, and straight-up common sense. Each week, I'll break down the mystery of your fatigue, brain fog, gut drama, weight gain, and hormone chaos, and show you simple ways to heal in body, mind, and spirit. Because God didn't design you to live stuck in survival mode. Grab your lemon water, friend. Let's get into today's episode. Your blood sugar can make you feel calm or anxious, clear-headed, or like you just walked into a room and forgot why you're there. It can make you patient or weirdly irritated at someone for something that normally wouldn't even bother you. It can make you feel steady or like you need food immediately or things are about to go downhill fast. And apparently, if we believe the commercials, it can turn you into a completely different human until someone hands you a Snickers, which honestly isn't that far off. Because if you've ever had one of those moments where you're like, why am I reacting like this right now? And then you eat something and you feel normal again, you've already experienced exactly what we're talking about today, blood sugar. But not in the you should stop eating sugar kind of way. Because let's be honest, if it were that simple, none of us would be here. We're talking about it in the this might explain the version of you that shows up at 3 p.m. kind of way. Hey friend, welcome back to Let's Talk Holistic Hope. I'm Dr. Rochelle Wilson, and around here we talk through what your body might actually be trying to say when things feel off in a way that makes sense in your real life, not just on paper. Most of the time, what you're feeling isn't random. It just hasn't been explained in a way that connects yet. So here's what I think is kind of funny. People will say, I don't think I have a blood sugar issue. And I'm like, okay, do you ever crash in the afternoon or get really hungry really fast? Feel shaky or irritable if you wait too long to eat? Or suddenly feel like people are way more annoying than they were an hour ago? Because if the answer is yes, congratulations, you have a blood sugar experience. That's all this is. And it's happening all day long, whether you realize it or not. Here's what's wild about this. Your body is doing one of the most advanced balancing acts imaginable, and you don't even notice it when it's working. Like, no one wakes up and says, wow, my pancreas really showed up for me today. That's not a sentence anyone has ever said, or at least I don't think so. Also, not usually a thought that anyone has. But it should be. You really only notice it when something feels off. And even then, you usually don't call it blood sugar. You call it things like, I just need coffee, or I didn't sleep enough. Or my favorite, the classic, I'm just in a mood today. Meanwhile, your body is like, no, actually, we've been trying to keep up with you since 9 a.m. This is where we have to talk about Lucy and Ethel, because once you see this, you're not going to unsee it. If you've never seen that Chocolate Factory episode, first of all, go watch it. But even if you haven't, this will make sense. So in this I Love Lucy episode, they're working the conveyor belt, wrapping chocolates, and at first they're like, oh, we've got this. And then the belt speeds up. And suddenly, they don't got this. Now, chocolates are piling up, and they're stuffing them everywhere. Mouth, pockets, hats, dresses, just trying to keep up with what's coming in. That is your liver. When glucose starts coming in faster than your body can use it, your liver steps in and goes, okay, we need to store this somewhere. At first, no problem. But when it keeps coming, your body doesn't stop the conveyor belt. It just finds another place to put it. And that's where fat storage comes in. Not because your body is doing something wrong, but because it's trying to keep things from getting out of control. And once you see that, you start realizing something. It changes everything about how you understand weight gain. Let me tell you that this is happening way more often than people realize. Because if you really look at how we're living, we're eating more often. We're eating larger portions, more processed, faster, and usually while doing 3 other things and slightly stressed, which is basically the perfect setup for your body to go, okay, I'm trying, but this is a lot. And then people come in and say, I feel like my metabolism is broken. And I'm like, no, it's not broken. It's just overwhelmed. Big difference. So let's put this into real life stuff and go back to your day for a second. You wake up. Coffee usually comes first because priorities. And then maybe food happens. Maybe not. Maybe it's something quick because you're already running through your to-do list in your head. And none of that feels like a problem. It actually feels normal. But your body is already like, okay, what are we working with here? It's breaking things down, moving glucose into your bloodstream, using what you just ate and what's already been stored. It's releasing insulin, trying to keep everything balanced, and you're just over there answering emails. And then a couple of hours later, you're hungry again. Or you actually waited a little too long, and now you're not just hungry. Now you're on the edge of making decisions you wouldn't normally make, and you're like, okay, we've reached a situation here. Where's that Snickers? That's a very different level of hunger. I want you to understand that your body is constantly taking what you eat, and it's turning it into glucose. And glucose/blood sugar is not bad. Let's just clear that up right now. Your brain loves glucose. It runs on it, which is why when it drops, everything feels off so quickly. And this is something most people don't realize. Your brain is actually a little dramatic about this. It does not like waiting. So when your blood sugar starts to dip, your brain doesn't go, let's just see how this plays out. It goes, we need to fix this immediately. And that's where that urgency feeling comes from. That's not you being dramatic. That's your brain being like, I would like to remain conscious, thank you. This is the part that people feel the most. And it might look like feeling shaky or anxious or suddenly exhausted, like everything just hit a wall. Or you just don't trust yourself to have a conversation at that moment. But again, not personality, just physiology. Your body is literally using stress hormones to bring you back up. So now you're not just hungry, you're in a stress response, which explains a lot. And this is where it all kind of clicks in a way that people don't usually expect, because your body does not separate physical stress from emotional stress, which we've talked about in a previous episode. It's not like, oh, don't worry, this is just in your head. No, your body is like, stress? Got it. We are responding. So the pace that you're living at, the pressure you're carrying, the constant thinking, doing, reacting, your body is right there in it with you. And get this, when you're stressed, your body actually raises your blood sugar on purpose. Wait, what? Why? Well, it's simple actually. It's because it thinks you're about to need energy, like you're about to run or fight. You're preparing to survive something. Meanwhile, you're just sitting in your car, answering emails, or lying in bed thinking about something you said 3 days ago. But your body doesn't know the difference. It's like, okay, we're doing this? Cool, let's get fuel ready. So now you've got extra glucose in your system with nowhere to go. And that feeds right back into everything we've just been talking about. And then in the Bible, we read something like, be still and know that I am God, Psalm 46:10. And it sounds amazing, but also it can feel slightly unrealistic depending on what your day looks like. But your body is like, yes, right there, I function best there. Because your body was designed for rhythm. In 1 Corinthians 14:33, God is not a God of confusion, but of peace, not chaos, not consistent urgency, not living in go mode all day. And when your life constantly pulls you into that state, your body reflects it. And then we wonder why we feel off. It's not random. It's your body going, hey, we've been in survival mode a little too long. Honestly, I think this is why that verse hits differently too. Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Matthew 11:28. Because that's not just spiritual. Your whole system is craving that. So when things feel off and when your energy is all over the place, when your mood feels inconsistent, it's not for no reason. It's actually feedback. And this is what makes this whole conversation even more important, because this is not rare, like not even close. When you actually look at the numbers, we're talking somewhere around 1 in 3, even closer to 2 out of every 5 adults dealing with some level of blood sugar dysfunction. Which means if you're sitting in a room with people, or at church, or even just thinking about your friend group, this is not a small group of people. This is most people. And the reason so many people don't realize they're in it is because it doesn't show up the way we think it does. We tend to think of blood sugar like there's this clear line. You're either fine or you have diabetes. Like when you wake up one day and suddenly flipped over into a diagnosis. But that's not really how it works. It's more like this slow shift that happens over time, where your body is working harder and harder to keep things looking normal, while you're sitting there thinking everything is fine. And that's where this gets missed, because you don't feel sick. You just don't feel like yourself. And that's where a lot of people are living. They're not diagnosed. They're not exactly fine. They just don't quite feel like themselves, and they can't explain why. Like something's different, but you can't quite put your finger on it. And it's easy to brush that off because it doesn't feel urgent yet, right? You hear yourself saying things like, I'm just tired all the time, or I can't stay consistent, or I feel fine one minute and then completely different the next. And it doesn't feel big enough to take seriously, but it also doesn't feel right. But in that middle space, that pre-diabetes space, is where things are already changing, quietly. There's no alarm bell, no moment that makes you stop and go, okay, something is clearly wrong. It's just patterns that slowly become your normal. And what makes this even more concerning is this didn't used to be like this. This used to be something we mainly saw in adults. And now, we're seeing it in kids. And that should make all of us pause for a second, because kids aren't just randomly developing blood sugar issues out of nowhere. And I have to be honest with you, this one hits me hard. That actually pains me, because kids aren't choosing this. They're not sitting there thinking about blood sugar or insulin or long-term health. They're just eating what's available to them, what's marketed to them, or what's convenient, and what's normal in their environment. And even what's available right now, it's sugar everywhere. And it's not just desserts or treats. It's way more than that. It's in drinks, snacks, quote unquote, healthy foods, things that are packaged to look like good choices, things sitting right there on our shelves every single day. And a lot of it too. If we're being honest, it's not even really food anymore. It's so processed, fast absorbing, constantly hitting your system, and over time, it acts more like a poison than nourishment. And that's hard to say, but it's also hard to ignore. Because now, instead of this being something occasional, it's constant. And your body adapts, but you feel that adaptation. So over time, this is what can turn into type 2 diabetes, where your body is still producing insulin, but it's just not responding the same way that it used to. So now it has to work harder just to keep up. And then there's type 1 diabetes, which is completely different, where the body isn't producing insulin at all. There's also gestational diabetes, which shows up during pregnancy and kind of gives you this glimpse into how your body handles glucose when it's under a different kind of stress. So yes, there are different forms of this, but underneath all of them, the theme is the same. Your body is trying to manage glucose and keep things steady and keep you functioning. And when you realize how many people are actually sitting in that middle space, somewhere between fine and diagnosed, it changes how you hear those early signals. Because they're not random. They're not just you. They're common. They're just easy to overlook until you understand what you're actually looking at. And let me just say this one plainly. People will tell me all the time, diabetes runs in my family. And sometimes I have to pause a second. And I'm like, does it? Or does the lifestyle run in the family? Because grandma taught mama how to cook. And mama taught you. And now y'all are eating the same way and acting surprised when everybody's getting the same results. And listen, I get it. That's tradition. That's family. That's love. And also, that's a whole lot of butter, sugar, and things your body's trying to figure out what to do with. And just to be clear, I'm not coming for grandma. Grandma was doing the best that she could with what she had. Your body is sitting there like, hey, we've been running the same program for a few generations now. Are we possibly open to an update? And the good news is, this doesn't mean you have to flip your whole life upside down overnight. Because when people hear change your lifestyle, they immediately think, okay, new diet, new routine, new personality. Guess I'll just become someone else on Monday. And it's like, no, we're not doing that. This is more like small updates to the system. Like if your phone needed an update, you wouldn't throw the whole phone away. You just install the update. Maybe ignore it for a few days first, and then finally hit, okay, fine. Same idea here. Sometimes the update looks like not waiting until you're desperate to eat. Because that version of you, that version is not making calm, well thought out decisions. That version is like, I don't care what it is, just give me something right now. And that's a very different person than the one who sat there earlier thinking, I'm going to make a good choice today. Sometimes it's as simple as eating in a way that actually keeps you steady longer. Not just full for 5 minutes and then right back to where you started wondering what else is in the pantry. Sometimes it's realizing that drinking your calories hits very differently than eating them. Which is why eat the fruit, don't drink the fruit sounds so simple, but makes a very big difference once your body is actually dealing with it. And sometimes it's just being honest about the fact that running on caffeine and stress all day and then trying to fix everything at night is a cycle your body is constantly trying to keep up with. Like, are we sprinting or are we resting? I need a little clarity here. And movement plays into this too. Not in a you need to go crush a workout and become a different person kind of way, but in your body needs somewhere to put the fuel you keep giving it kind of way. Because your muscles actually help pull glucose out of your bloodstream. So even just moving your body regularly gives your system a little relief. Like, thank you, we can use this now. And the goal in all of this isn't perfection. It's steadiness. When your blood sugar is more steady, everything feels so different. Your energy is more consistent. Your mood is more stable. And your cravings don't feel like they're yelling at you all day. You just feel more like yourself. And honestly, that's how you know you're moving in the right direction. And this is also where I want to say something, because I know some of you are already thinking it. You're hearing about all these newer tools right now, especially peptides, and how they're helping with blood sugar, metabolism, and weight loss. And yes, there's a reason those are getting so much attention right now. But here's what I want you to understand. Those tools don't replace what we just talked about. They build on it. Which means if your foundation isn't steady, they're not going to work the way that you think they are. And if your foundation is steady, that's where they can actually do something really powerful for you. So next time, we're going to break that down. What peptides actually are, what they're doing in your body, and how they fit into all of this in a way that actually makes sense. Because there's a lot of noise around them right now, and I want you to understand what's real. I want to leave you with this, because if you don't take anything else from this episode, take this. What you're feeling is not random. That afternoon crash, that irritability, that brain fog, that I don't feel like myself feeling, there's a reason for it. Your body is responding to what it's being given and what it's being put through every single day. And once you start to see the pattern, you can start to change the pattern. You don't need to overhaul your whole life tomorrow. You don't need to get everything perfect, but you do need to stop ignoring what your body's been trying to tell you because it's been consistent. We just haven't been connecting the dots. And the moment you start supporting your body instead of fighting it, things begin to shift, sometimes faster than you expect. And that's where hope comes back in. So here's the question I want you to sit with. Where in your day do you feel that shift the most? And what's leading up to it? Because that right there is your starting point. And as you start to notice it, I want you to ask yourself, what is one small thing I can change here? Not everything, just one. One better choice. One more steady meal. One moment where you don't wait until you're crashing. One decision that supports your body instead of stressing it. Because those small shifts are what begin to change everything. Lord, I just lift up every person listening right now. You know exactly what they've been dealing with and what they've been feeling and the frustration of not having answers. I pray that you would bring clarity where there's been confusion and peace where there's been stress, and that you would help them to see that their body is not working against them. It's responding. Give them wisdom in what they should do and what they should begin to change, what to adjust, what to let go of, and what to lean into. Give them guidance for the next step, not 10 steps ahead, just the next one. And for anyone who feels stuck or discouraged, Lord, remind them that they are not broken and that change is possible. Give them grace in the process. Give them patience with themselves and a sense of steadiness as they begin to make small shifts that lead to real change. In the mighty name of King Jesus, amen. Before you move on with your day, take a moment and ask God something simple. Just ask Him, Lord, what might my body be trying to show me right now? And then listen. Sometimes the beginning of healing starts with paying attention. If this conversation encouraged you today, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. And if someone came to mind while you were listening, someone who's been dealing with low energy, brain fog, or just feeling off lately, consider sharing this episode with them. Sometimes just hearing that what they're experiencing actually makes sense can be really encouraging. You can also connect with me online at www.therenewedhope.com or send me an email at letstalk@theholistichopepodcast.com. I always enjoy hearing from listeners and learning what topics would be most helpful for you. You'll also find other ways to stay connected in the show notes. And make sure you come back for the next episode because we're going to talk about peptides, what they are, why they're everywhere right now, and how they actually fit into blood sugar, metabolism, and healing in a way that makes sense. Remember, your body isn't falling apart on you. It's simply trying to get your attention. So until next time, friends, keep choosing hope, keep trusting Jesus, and keep healing from the inside out. Ooh, that was good. Thanks for hanging with me today. If this episode brought you clarity or hope, would you do me a quick favor? Take 30 seconds to share it with a friend. Leave a 5-star rating or write a short review. It helps this show reach more people who need real answers too. Want to keep the conversation going? Come hang out with me on Facebook at Renewed Hope Holistic Health. The link's in the show notes. Or better yet, let's talk. Book a free 15-minute discovery call and let's see how I can support your health journey, spiritually, emotionally, and physically. Until next time, keep your faith strong, your gut happy, and your hope holistic.